Here's a fascinating problem from the 2019 International Mathematical Olympiad. We seek all pairs of positive integers, k and n, that satisfy this equation. The left side is a simple factorial, while the right side is a more complex product. Let's begin by analyzing this expression. Our first step is to analyze the structure of the right-hand side, which we will denote as p of n. By writing out the terms, we can see a clear pattern. Each factor has the form 2 to the power of n minus 2 to the power of I, where the exponent I ranges from 0 to n minus 1. Notice that from the second term onward, we can factor out powers of 2 from each part of the product. From the term containing 2 to the power of 1, we factor out 2. From the term with 2 squared, we factor out 2 squared, and so on, until we factor out 2 to the power of n minus 1 from the final term. Now, let's collect all these extracted powers of 2. By grouping the powers of 2, we see that the total exponent is the sum of the integers from 0 up to n minus 1. This sum is a classic triangular number, which evaluates to n times the quantity n minus 1, all divided by 2. The original equation now simplifies into this much cleaner form. The product of terms like 2 to the power of I minus 1 is simply a reordering. This new structure is the key to solving the problem. Here is a crucial insight. Since any term of the form 2 to the power of I minus 1 is an odd integer, the highest power of 2 that divides p of n, known as the 2-adic valuation, comes entirely from the term we factored out earlier. This valuation is precisely n times the quantity n minus 1, all divided by 2. As an interesting aside for those familiar with abstract algebra, this expression p of n is also the formula for the size of the general linear group of n by n matrices over the field of 2 elements. So, the problem is equivalent to asking when the size of this matrix group is a factorial number. The powerful argument we will soon develop rules out all cases where n is 6 or greater. This means we must first check the smaller cases from n equals 1 up to n equals 5 by direct computation. When n equals 1, the right-hand side simplifies to 1. Since k factorial equals 1, k must be 1. This gives us our first solution, the pair 1, 1. For n equals 2, the right-hand side evaluates to 6. Since k factorial equals 6, k must be 3. This gives us our second solution, the pair 3, 2. When n equals 3, the product evaluates to 168. This number lies between 5 factorial and 6 factorial, so it cannot be a factorial. Thus, there is no solution for n equals 3. Similarly, for n equals 4, the product is a large number that falls between 7 factorial and 8 factorial. Once again, this means it cannot be a factorial, so there is no solution here. Finally, we check the case where n equals 5. The expression p of 5 evaluates to another large integer. This value also lies between 2 consecutive factorials, namely 10 factorial and 11 factorial. Therefore, it is not a factorial, and there is no solution for n equals 5. Now we will establish the key constraint that eliminates all larger values of n. We know that the 2-adic valuation of both sides of our equation must be equal. As we established in the first step, the 2-adic valuation of p of n is precisely n times the quantity, n minus 1, all divided by 2. On the left-hand side, we can determine the 2-adic valuation of k factorial using the well-known Legendre's formula. A standard identity which follows from applying Legendre's formula to the binary representation of k shows that this sum is equal to k minus is sub 2 of k, where sub 2 of k is the sum of the digits in the binary expansion of k. By equating the 2-adic valuations of the left and right sides of our equation, we arrive at this powerful constraint. K minus s sub 2 of k must equal n times the quantity n minus 1, all divided by 2. This severely limits the possible values of k. Since k is a positive integer, the sum of its binary digits, s sub 2 of k, must be at least 1. This gives us a crucial lower bound for k. Now, for all values of n that are 6 or greater, we will prove that no solutions exist by deriving a direct contradiction. First, let's establish an upper bound for p of n. Since each of the n factors in its definition is less than 2 to the power of n, their product must be less than 2 to the power of n, raised to the power of n, which is 2 to the power of n squared. Recall our lower bound for k from the previous step. For simplicity, we'll let the letter m represent the quantity and times n minus 1, all divided by 2. Our constraint tells us that k must be greater than or equal to m plus 1. Here is the claim that will lead to our contradiction. For all n greater than or equal to 6, m factorial grows much faster than our upper bound and is, in fact, greater than 2 to the power of n squared. This can be proven by induction, or for those interested, by using an analytic tool like Stirling's approximation. We verify the base case when n equals 6. In this case, m is 15. A quick check confirms that 15 factorial is a vastly larger number than 2 to the power of 36, so the claim holds. The inductive step follows by showing that the growth rate of the factorial side is much larger than the growth rate of the exponential side. Since m plus 1 is greater than or equal to 16 for our range of n, we can show that the growth factor is at least 2 to the power of 4n. This growth factor of 2 to the power of 4n is more than enough to cover the increase from 2 to the n squared to 2 to the n plus 1 squared, which is only 2n plus 1 in the exponent. Putting it all together, the inequality holds for n plus 1 if it holds for n. The induction is therefore complete, and our key claim is proven. Now we can assemble the first part of our contradiction. The original value, k factorial, is equal to p of n. We know p of n is less than 2 to the n squared, and we just proved that for n greater than or equal to 6, 2 to the n squared is less than em factorial. This chain of inequalities proves that k factorial must be strictly less than m factorial. Now for the second part of our contradiction. From our two-adic valuation constraint, we know that the integer k must be greater than or equal to m plus 1. Because the factorial function is always increasing, this directly implies that k factorial must be greater than m factorial. We have now proven two mutually exclusive statements, that k factorial is strictly less than m factorial, and also that k factorial is strictly greater than m factorial. This is a fundamental contradiction. Our initial assumption that a solution could exist for n greater than or equal to 6 must be false. Having ruled out all cases for n greater than or equal to 6, and having checked all smaller cases, we can now state our final conclusion. The exhaustive analysis shows that the only pairs of positive integers that satisfy the original equation are the two we found at the very beginning. The solutions are the pair 1, 1 and the pair 3, 2. Thank you for watching this mathematical journey. If you enjoyed this explanation, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more mathematical content. Don't forget to share with fellow math enthusiasts. See you next time.